Boundary and Annexation Survey, or BAS Partnership Toolbox 1. Getting started. This video will provide an overview of the digital BAS response method, introduce and explain the benefits to using the BAS Partnership Toolbox, and demonstrate how to access the required materials to create a digital BAS submission. The digital BAS response method allows participants to create their BAS submission using Geographic Information Systems, or GIS software. Participants download U.S. Census Bureau provided partnership shapefiles and use geoprocessing tools available in most GIS software to review existing spatial data and make feature updates. Participants using this response method should have their own GIS software and have experience using the software. To simplify the process of creating a digital BAS submission, the Census Bureau developed the BAS Partnership Toolbox for use in ArcGIS. This toolbox automates the process of downloading Census Bureau partnership shapefiles, creating boundary changes, removing sliver polygons, formatting data and checking attribution, and exporting files for submission. The BAS Partnership Toolbox is not required to complete a BAS submission. At this time, participants are only able to create boundary changes through the toolbox. To create updates to features, participants should use additional methods for creating a submission. Though not covered in this video series, these methods are laid out in the Digital BAS Respondent Guide, which is located on the BAS website. Before getting started with the BAS Partnership Toolbox, participants need the following: ArcGIS 10.0 or higher. The BAS Partnership Toolbox will not work with Esri's ArcGIS Pro software. The BAS Partnership Toolbox, which is available for download from the BAS website. The Partnership Toolbox Overview document, which is included with the Toolbox download. The 11-digit BAS ID for the working government, which is found in the subject line of the annual response email. The government's local shapefile or feature class showing the legal boundary of the working government, and the BAS Partnership shapefiles. In most cases, participants using the BAS Partnership Toolbox will be able to download the partnership shapefiles using the Census Data Download tool within the toolbox. However, if participants have trouble accessing the data through the toolbox, or they already plan to use offline mode, they should use the BAS Partnership shapefiles, which are available for download from the How to Get Started section of the BAS website. Prior to getting started with the BAS Partnership Toolbox, BAS participants should begin their submission by completing the annual response form. For step-by-step instructions on how to do this, refer to Video 2 of the Introduction to BAS video series. Governments who have boundary changes to report and wish to use the digital BAS response method to make their updates have two options for obtaining program materials. They may download the partnership shapefiles from the BAS website, or request a data disk containing the partnership shapefiles from the Census Bureau. Unlike the partnership shapefiles, the BAS Partnership Toolbox is only available to participants by downloading from the BAS website. To begin, visit the following hyperlink. On the BAS Partnership Tools webpage, select Download BAS Partnership Tools. In the Download menu at the bottom of the screen, click the arrow next to Save and select Save As. Save the zip file to a local drive on the computer. Then, unzip the entire contents of the package to the same folder. Next, open Arc Catalog. Right-click in the white space and select Add Toolbox. Then, navigate to the location where the unzipped contents are located. Select the DBAS folder and then the Setup folder. Next, select the BAS Partnership Toolbox and select Open. The toolbox should now appear in the list of toolboxes, and the tools are now ready to use in both ArcMap and ArcCatalog. To begin, select the Partnership BAS Tools toolbox within ArcToolbox. Select the plus sign next to the toolbox to expand it. The first tool, named Census Data Download, will gather all the partnership shapefile data needed to create changes from the Census Bureau website. If the data is on a Census Bureau provided disk, this tool also works, but only if the disk is loaded into the computer before running the tool. Double-click the Census Data Download tool. Enter the 11-digit BAS ID of the government to update in the User's BAS ID field. Users will find their BAS ID in the annual response email or at the following link. Then, select either Yes or No from the Use Data Downloader field. Selecting Yes allows users to download the data directly from the Census website. Depending on the size of the entity, the data download may take a few minutes. When this tool is finished running, there should be a folder for the BAS ID in the Projects subfolder located within the DBAS folder. The Projects folder will include a geodatabase containing reference data and an archive folder. Users who have trouble using the Census Data Download tool due to firewall or internet connectivity issues may download the partnership shapefiles separately and use the tool to import them into ArcGIS. To download the partnership shapefiles, visit the BAS website. Select How to Get Started and scroll to How to Participate, Section 1A. Select BAS Partnership Shapefiles. From the Choose a State to View drop-down menu, select the state where the government is located. On the Partnership Shapefile Batch Download page, select up to 5 individual counties to download the shapefiles for those counties. Then, select Submit. On the Download menu at the bottom of the screen, click the arrow to the right of the Save button and select Save As. Save the zip file to a local drive on the computer. Next, unzip the PVS batch file to the same folder. 2 more zip files appear, one with the partnership shapefiles for the entire state, and one with the partnership shapefiles for the selected county. Participants should not unzip either of these files. To import the downloaded partnership shapefiles, return to Arc Catalog and double-click the Census Data Download tool. Enter the appropriate BAS ID in the User's BAS ID field, then select No in the Use Data Downloader drop-down menu. Select the folder icon next to the Path to Zip Files field and navigate to the folder containing the zip file with the county partnership shapefiles. Select Add, then select OK. When this tool is finished running, there should be a folder for the BAS ID in the Projects subfolder located within the DBAS folder. The Projects folder will include a geodatabase containing reference data and an archive folder. For assistance creating a digital BAS submission, refer to the Digital Respondent Guide, which is available on the BAS website. Chapter 3 contains information on downloading and using the Census Bureau provided shapefiles. The Partnership Toolbox Overview document, included with the Toolbox download, contains information on how to download and use the BAS Partnership Toolbox and provides step-by-step instructions for setting up the toolbox and for using the Census Data Download tool. For BAS support, please contact the Census Bureau by phone toll-free at 1-800-972-5651 or by email at geo.bas@census.gov. Participants may also refer to the BAS website for resources.